Hello everyone and welcome to the very first self-made art gallery made entirely from Google Slides. That's right, for the past couple months, I have been making art in Google Slides, and I wanted to show off that art, so I created a digital art gallery that you guys can go through as well if you want to see all the art for yourselves. But you'll be seeing all of them in this video, and I'll be going through like how I made them and like some techniques, and you guys are going to learn a lot. So make sure to watch this entire video because all of these pieces are insane. So this is the first slide, snowghost art gallery. There's a start tour button, but as you notice, I cannot click the button. It doesn't work. And that's because we have to go over to this notice button first. This notice area. And this you need to read because this is going to give you like instructions and stuff on how to do it. This gallery contains 11 pieces, 9 new ones, because I used to have an art gallery with like other pieces where it was just my username snowghost with some cool effects. But that's not what this one is. But some of them I liked a lot. So I carried like 2 of them over. So there's 9 new pieces. Each piece was made entirely by me, snowghost. And yes, everything was made entirely using the tools that Google Slides offers. I did not use any external apps, tools, pictures, add-ons, extensions, nothing. It was all just raw Google Slides. Technically, you guys could recreate these. Use the arrow keys at the top right to either go to the next piece or to the previous piece. Do not use the arrow keys on the keyboard, only use the ones on the slide. And when we get to the actual art pieces, I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. And these are available for download. You guys can download them and use them as your backgrounds. I'm using one of them as my background right now. I wanted to make each piece unique and different from the other ones, so that's why I decided that in each piece I was going to try something new, whether that being a new technique or art style. At the top left of each piece there will be an info box, which you can click on to read more info about the piece, including the new technique that I used. So what that means is in every single art piece, I tried something new. In every single new art piece. In the old ones, not really. So now that we read all this, we can click back, and now we can start a tour. And this is going to take us to the first piece, which I showed you guys already. This was the first piece I ever made. I showed it off in a community post. And yeah, and also I'm going to try not to stay on each piece for too long. I don't want this video to be too long. And there will also be timestamps for each piece. We got a river, we got some like hills, lots of trees. Mountains, got some snow on top, got some fog giving it depth. It looks pretty nice to me. So as you notice, we have a couple of things. This is the arrows at the top of the screen that you will be using. You do not want to click the arrow keys because it will not take you to the next slide. This is our full screen button, which we're not going to click yet. And this is our info box. So if we click this, you can see all of the info here. So the new thing I tried for this piece was reflections. As you can see, there's reflections. This is the first piece I made. It's a river with land on both sides and mountains in the back. Now, believe it or not, instead of using Google Slides reflection tool, I just copy and pasted everything, put them upside down, put them under the water, which is a blue shape with 80% opacity. So Google Slides has a reflection tool that you can use, where if you checkmark it, the object will have a reflection. But that's actually not what I did here. So let's get this reflection, like for the mountains. What I did was I took the mountains, I copy and pasted them, and then flipped them upside down, and then put them under this water, which the water is like, it's a blue like shape with 80% opacity. I did that for the land as well. And the reason is because when I'm creating the piece, these mountains are actually above the lake, and so are these. So if I was to add a reflection, the reflection would also be above the lake. But I want it to be under. Now there's also this full screen button. Now if you want to see it in full screen, I would recommend going in full screen last, because once you click full screen, you can't go back. So I'm going to click full screen, and I can't go back to like that main piece with the info box and everything. And I think once you click, it'll take you to the next piece. Let's test it out. Yes, it does. No, there is no way of getting back. Anyways, let's focus on this piece. There is a lot to look at in this piece. You have a fire-breathing dragon. You've got lava, you've got crystals, and you've got like this chest. As you can tell, there is a lot of glowing. And I bet you can probably guess the new thing I tried was glows. This piece is a fiery and glowy scene with the fire-breathing dragon in the middle guarding a glowing chest surrounded by lava and glowing crystals. Glows are easily created with either drop shadows or radial gradients with a low opacity. So, there are 2 ways to create glows in Google Slides. One way, which I used for this little crack right here, is you can take the shape, give it a drop shadow, put the opacity to 100, the distance and angle to 0, and then the blur radius to like 10 or 15, and then make that drop shadow color whatever you want. So for this one, I gave it a drop shadow, did all that, and gave the drop shadow a color of orange, because this is orange. And it makes it look like it's glowing. Another way you can do it is you can take a circle, you can give it a radial gradient color, and the middle color, let's see, like this eye. That's what I did for this eye. As you can see, it's kind of like this circle and it's like fading out. That's the radial gradient. The middle color is yellow with like 50% opacity, and then the outer color is translucent. with an added translucent color as well. And when you create that, it'll create this nice glow. And that's what I did for like this chest and like this lens flare. As you can see, the light is kind of like in front of the dragon. I think that's called a lens flare. That's how to make objects glow. And for surfaces, as you can see for what I did with these rocks behind, you can see that the lava's glow is on them. Basically, these rocks are one shape. Right, I created these with polylines, and they are gray. The color for them is gray. So what I did was I copy and pasted that shape, made it translucent, and then created a gradient where the bottom is orange and the top is translucent, and then put it over it, and it makes it look like a glow. Anyways, let's see the full screen. Next piece. Now, in my opinion, this piece is like super clean, right? It's my main Fortnite character with a sword flying through the air. And let me ask you guys a question right here. Can you tell that my character is like moving? Right, you got these little white lines. Can you tell that she's like flying through the air and that there's like motion and movement? I hope so, because the new thing that I tried was movement. This piece shows my main Fortnite skin flying through the air with a glowing sword and glowing text behind her. This piece is meant to be more on the simplistic side, if you can call this simplistic, especially for Google Slides. All my other art pieces have like this crazy like scene. Like you can see here, this has like this scene, the background. This one has like this scene. This one just has a gradient background. That's why I call it simple. And I actually think I did a pretty good job with my Fortnite character. Like, she actually like looks like the real thing. This one I will definitely be using as my background. All right, next piece. Let's go up to this arrow icon. This next piece is my favorite piece. All right, you guys are about to see it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it looks so good. This is my favorite piece out of all this 11 pieces. This one is my favorite. I love this one so much. It looks so good. You have this robot on these rocks with the city and the sunset behind it. It's like an apocalyptic sunset. I think I actually like nailed the colors. This one just looks so cool in my opinion. Like, this was made in Google Slides, only using Google Slide tools. Isn't that crazy? Now, the new thing I tried for this one may or may not be obvious. Let's go to the info box. The new thing I tried for this piece was realistic lighting and shadows. That's right, I tried realistic lighting and shadows in Google Slides. For the realistic shadows, as you can see, there's like, oh, this is like super dark. This piece is my favorite. Visually stunning. An evil robot on a pile of rocks wielding a blue laser weapon. That's not a lightsaber, by the way. Star Wars, don't sue me. You'd think the shadows, glows, and light reflections would be photoshopped, but no, it was all made using Google Slides. Drop shadows for the glows, like what I talked about earlier. Radial gradients for the lens flares, like right here. As you can see, the light is like in front of it. And 2 different colors for the rocks. Now, this piece is very complicated, so I'm not gonna like talk much about it. Again, I don't want to spend too long on each piece. But like, as you can see, like the light from this light, what's it called? The laser beam. Yep. As you can see, the light is like on the robot right here, and it's like on this rock right here. It's like on this. So what I did for this one is kind of the same thing I did for here, where I took the rock, copy and pasted it, made it transparent, and created a gradient. That's what I did for this. But I mean, just like, look at even the background. Look at the little stars. Let's definitely get a full screen on that. All right, next piece. Now this piece, oh my. So this piece was actually voted on by my community. There was another version of this piece that was like alien themed, and I couldn't decide whether this piece or the alien piece was better. So I'll let you guys decide. And I guess you guys like this one better. Now, the new thing that I tried for this one may not be too obvious, but once I tell you guys, you're gonna know. So the new thing I tried for this piece was outer space. As you can see, the island is in outer space. And what I mean by that is I made the space background. Now, you'd think it's a picture, but no. There's no pictures in this. Making space in Google Slides is actually easier than you would think. It's just a lot of gradients mixed together. And when you mix a lot of gradients together, it creates a blur effect. And you do that with like different colors and get space. And add some stars and some other circles to make it look cooler. A wondrous floating island far in space, complete with trees, mountains, a lake, and a waterfall. The space background is not an image. It was made with lots of shapes with radial gradients at 75% opacity. These shapes blended together create a blur-like effect. Perfect for the theme. Next piece, let's see what we got. Ooh. Now, for those of you artistes or familiar with art in any way, you guys will know what this technique is. The new thing I tried in this piece was negative space. For those of you who don't know, negative space is when you create arts out of like I don't know. Like, the main thing is supposed to be like an umbrella here, and like the black is like the background. So I made another image inside of the background. It's kind of like an image inside of an image. Yeah, let's read this. Negative space is such an interesting form of art to look at, and is portrayed wonderfully in this piece. The umbrella with towers and windows that look like rain is one of the most popular pieces portraying negative space. So I took inspiration and made my own, along with an added vignette, which is a radial gradient. So let's touch on a few things. So if you look up negative space art on Google, you will see a few pieces that look similar to this. So this umbrella theme here with the windows is actually quite popular because I saw a lot of them and I really liked it. So I decided to take inspiration and make my own, as it says here. Anyways, on to probably my least favorite piece here. The new thing I tried for this was a human portrait, right? I wanted to make a person. And this art piece was made before I made this one. All right, these pieces are not in order of the way I created them. Okay, I had to strategically order them in a certain way. So for this one, I tried creating a person. I think I did a good job with the person, actually. Every artist has their least favorite piece out of their collection. And while this one isn't bad, it has to be my least favorite, which is saying a lot about my other art. When you think about a human portrait, you think about a face and a simple background. That's what I wanted to do for this one, but as you can tell, I got a little carried away. Yeah, there's mountains and lightning and trees and a whole temple. I made a whole temple. I don't know, I just think this one maybe had more potential. I just don't think it's that good. Anyways, next one. Ooh, now this one is my second favorite piece. This one is my current background. So just look at it for a few seconds. So the new thing I tried for this piece was illusion. As you can see, this is a weird illusion shape. It's over here, this is the wall. But then if you go up, it's not a wall. It's facing the other way. And yes, this shape was created in Google Slides. I love it because it's just the more you look at it, the weirder it gets. And I love it because of that. Also, it just looks visually stunning. I mean, just look at this. It's there's the flowers, there's the vines, all the glows. It just looks so stunning. This piece just gets more confusing the longer you look at it. You really can't understand it, and that's the beauty of illusions and using them in art. But not only does this piece display an illusion, it also displays beautiful colors and a girl looking into a heavenly light. Alright, full screen. Let's get full screen on this one. Alright, next one. Now for this one, again, you fellow artistes. I don't know why I say it like that. You guys might know this technique that I use. This technique is called I believe it's called the droste effect, the droste effect. I don't know how it's pronounced. This is how it's spelled. I don't know if it's droste, droste. I don't know. Maybe I can look it up. I call it the droste effect. Is it really not gonna? Oh, okay. I have to watch a video. This is a 55-second video. Are you kidding me? Why attention span's not that long? Droste. I was saying it right. Let's go. I'm a born artist. What can I say? Anyways, the droste effect means an image inside of an image. As you can see, there's this piece, and then they're looking into the laptop, and it's the same piece again, an image inside of an image. I can use OBS as an example. As you can see, if I go to my OBS and I full screen, it's the image inside of the image. It's you got this, and then when you look in here, it's yeah, it's just infinite. Yeah, infinite. That's the droste effect. And because it's an image inside the image, this is actually the only piece that has an image in it, or images. This piece is another mind-bending one. The droste effect represents an image inside of an image inside of an image inside of an image, and so on. This piece was the only piece that I used images in. Those images just being screenshots of the art inside of each other. So yeah, I just made this, screenshotted it, and then put it inside the laptop and made it a loop. It's super weird when you zoom in. Do you guys want to see? Try not to spoil the other ones. If I zoom in, it's wee. You can scroll by holding down Control and then scroll wheel. It's another tip. It's super trippy. And then you can full screen here. Even though it is images, I technically, I only use the tools inside Google Slides. Okay, I did not cheat. Next one. I think this is the last new one. Is it? I don't know. Yeah, this one is the last new one. Now for this one. This piece took me the longest. So we noticed a few things. We noticed the snake. We noticed the rock. We noticed the glowing eyes. I just love glows. They look cool. But you can also notice this background, which is blurred or out of focus. And for those of you who use Google Slides, you would know that Google Slides does not have a blur feature. But I learned that from the space piece, that when you put radial gradients together, it can create a blur-like effect. So that's what I did here. So the new thing I tried for this piece was the blur effect. This effect was definitely the hardest to pull off, given the fact that Google Slides does not have a blur tool. I learned from the space pieces that radial gradients mixed together can create a blur effect, so that's what I did here. Hundreds of circles with radial gradients placed strategically to create an out-of-focus tropical jungle background to give our little snake friend in the foreground. I'm not far, by the way. That was my chair. It's very creaky. I don't know why. I got it for my birthday, which is actually coming up soon. So as you can see, I'm not full screens. If I go on this piece and I press Control A, you can see that the background is made of a bunch of circles. And I place these circles in a way so that like it creates like trees and can I click off, please? It creates the trees. There's supposed to be a bush here, the land and the rocks and stuff, and even the sky is blurred. So I had to like mix it. This one's probably one of the hardest. This one was harder than the realistic lighting, if you can believe that. Next piece. Now we go on to the old ones. These ones aren't exciting. Now to the older pieces from my art gallery. This piece shows my nickname in a retro video game style. Again, with the glows just being the drop shadow technique. And this is the last piece. This last piece displays my nickname in a beautiful prismatic colors and reflections. Thank you for completing the tour of my first ever self-made Google Slides art gallery. And there's the next slide, but there's you're gonna have to press the arrow key, I think. There you go. Thank you. There's a screen that says thank you. So yeah, that is the first ever self-made Google Slides art gallery. I don't know, I consider myself a professional Google Slide artist. And let me show you guys how you would download some of these pieces. So like, let's say you want to download this amazing piece. There you go. See, it works good as a background. High quality as well. So there's a few things you can do. When I say downloading doesn't really like work well. So if you want to download them, you would go to File, Download, and you would download as anything. It doesn't really matter. I like to do PNG because I like PNGs the best. But if you open the file, you can see that the quality is like not good. If you use it as your background, it's going to be like low quality because for some reason downloading things in Google Slides just makes the quality bad. So what I did was I went here and I screenshotted it. But we'd also realize that there is a link. And this link is because there's a square over the piece. Because I need the square so that when you click, it'll take you to the next one. As you can see, it says next slide. So if you want to get like the highest quality image, what you can do is you can go to File, make a copy, selected slides. So I'm selecting slide 27. You can make your copy. Now you have your slide. And then you just delete the link. And then you go here and you can screenshot it. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned a few things. Maybe you guys will create your own art pieces too. But now that this art gallery is out, I will start creating Google Slides tutorials on how to do things like realistic lighting or space backgrounds or glows and just all sorts of things.